The totalitarian police state of the U.S., or particularly in this case Los Angeles, is now being taken to another level. According to internal documents from the LAPD, people who are now stopped by the police will have their social media scoured. They'll be asking for the social media accounts of people being stopped, even if they are not accused of any crime. Anyone who is interviewed by the LAPD will now be subject to a social media search, regardless if they've been arrested or even accused of a crime. This means that if you get stopped for any reason, the police will demand your social media accounts so that they may search them, and presumably use them against you. Essentially, what happens is that you'll be stopped and given a field interview card where you have to fill out a bunch of information about yourself, basic biographical information that will now include your social media accounts. Now, the chief of police, Michael Moore, says that this is very necessary for investigations, arrests, and prosecutions. The Brennan Center for Justice is responsible for this revelation. The not-for-profit organization keeps tab on civil liberties and guard against mass surveillance of civilians without justification. According to The Guardian, the Brennan Center conducted a review of 40 other police agencies in the U.S. and was unable to find another department that required social media collection on interview cards, though many have not publicly disclosed the copies of the cards. The organization also obtained records about the LAPD's social media surveillance technologies, which have raised questions about the monitoring of activist groups, including Black Lives Matter. The collection of such information has not always gone smoothly. In fact, last year on October 3rd, the LAPD were accused of falsifying some information in order to label 3 people that they had stopped as members of organized crime, essentially accusing them of being gang members in order to justify further investigation. This is also the same area where the LAPD are known to give disproportionate attention to minority communities. In the past, more than half of those stopped by the police and made to fill out these cards were not even accused of any crime. No doubt the collection of this information will be used to harass activists, those who are known in activist circles for being leaders, or particularly leaders of a social change activity. And the collection of this data will allow them to be able to target them much more easily. So now if they just happen to randomly stop one of them, they know to provide an extra hard time for that person. What the police want is your social media activity, which essentially is not needed in this situation, because you're either being accused of a crime on the spot or you're not. Anything you post on social media outside that particular situation is completely irrelevant to what's going on. The police are only trying to look up your information so that if they can tell that you're a person who's an official troublemaker, someone who protests against the police, they can then go ahead and proceed with essentially filing false charges against you or even fabricating evidence against you. Because that's the only real reason I can see that you would want to do this for on-the-spot investigations where someone isn't even being accused of a crime and isn't even being arrested. Commentators have noted that it appears to be part of a larger surveillance operation to monitor activists. So, what can you do about this? Well, you can obviously go to the ACLU and file a complaint. You can obviously go out and protest. Or you could do what some people have suggested and create fake social media accounts to give the police. For example, you could give them the following: at ACAB LAPD, at Ligma69, at Only Fascists Ask Me for My Social Media, at Fuck You Pig, and at Ass Destroyer 420. Now, if in the course of you being stopped by the police you do hand them any of this information and they happen to look it up, you will probably most likely be subject to these cuffs. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.